Hello, this is Dr. Mark Montillo, and this is Module 5 lecture, Archetypes of the Elder Female Psyche. And I first want to refer to the reading, The Distaff and the Staff, Stereotypes and Archetypes of the Older Woman in Representative Modern Literature. In this article, author Kell exposes stereotypes and digs down into the archetypal energies that reveal the truth behind the misconceptions of stereotypes of the older woman. She lists 10 stereotypical ideas about elderly women and 14 feminine archetypes, including Mother Nature, the Virgin, the Furies and Fates, Hecate and Athena. The author then comments on the gap between feminine stereotypes, which are subhuman, and the archetypes, which are superhuman. She writes, "The great need is to see the older woman, indeed the woman at any age, neither as subhuman nor as superhuman, neither as Hemingway's bitch nor as goddess, but as human." She then quotes Scott Maxwell's passage, "To honor the feminine enhances life." Kell presents a powerful selection of literature which illustrates both sides of that bipolar axis. Especially powerful are the images of strength and passion of the elder woman. In closing, the author writes, "The greatest service which one can render the older woman is to dispel the stereotypes of feminine age. Revere, not worship her, as Empson says. Give her the respect, affection, honor, and deference a human deserves." I would like to move further into some of the archetypes of the elder feminine and explore Jean Shinoda Boland's book, Goddesses in Older Women, Archetypes in Women Over 50. Metis is the goddess of wisdom. Her particular type of wisdom is centered in the experiential and tangible world. She is the personification of applied ways of knowing and doing. Metis was the daughter of two Titans. The Titans were known as the elder gods who ruled the earth before the Olympians overthrew them. The ruler of the Titans was Cronus, who was dethroned by his son Zeus. Most of the Titans fought with Cronus against Zeus and were punished by being banished to Tartarus, a place even beneath the underworld. Metis, pregnant with Zeus's child, was charmed by the god, who tricked her into becoming small, allowing him to swallow her. He incorporated her into himself and took her attributes and power as his own. This included the ability to birth a child. This allowed him to birth Athena out of his head. And this story is a template of the lives of many first wives of successful men. These women, many times socially and economically a member of the class to which her husband aspires, are usually better educated, smarter, and with more wealth or access to wealth. They provided the means and strategy through which their particular Zeus reached the top, only to find themselves treated like Metis. Her importance to him diminished, she is made small and swallowed. This is the shadow side of the archetype. In its fullness, Metis is the archetype of wise counsel, concerned with using time and energy, talent and resources judiciously. Using Metis as an inner wise woman, the older woman will pause to get her bearings, take stock, put feelings of loss behind her, and bring a combination of intelligence and wisdom to bear upon what she will do with herself as a new crown. Of all the goddesses of women, of wisdom, Sophia is the most familiar. Sophia means wisdom in Greek. Hers is a spiritual wisdom or soul knowledge. Gnostic or noetic knowledge is what is revealed to us or intuitively perceived to be spiritually true. It's what we know in our bones. It is an insight into the presence or absence of soul. If one heeds the gnosis in oneself, the process of growing older and wiser is accelerated. Sophia the mystic is evoked by direct experience of the numinous. Hecate is the goddess of intuitive and psychic wisdom. Zeus honored her above all, and she was said to be the daughter of Gaia. and Uranus, earth and sky. In betwixt and between liminal space, she sees the connection between past, present, and future. At every fork in the road, she recalls the shape of the past, sees the present honestly and with clarity, and has a sense of what lies ahead at a soul level. Her image can be depicted with three faces, and she is usually only mentioned in the triad of goddesses that echoes the earlier triple goddess. This includes Persephone the maiden, Demeter the mother, and Hecate the crone. A good Hecate imaginal exercise Bolin suggests is to visualize the goddess in front of you. Ask her, what have I learned about life from my own experience? And what truth do I need to face? Psychotherapists can serve as embodiments of Hecate for their clients. Clients are usually at a crossroads when they choose to enter your consult room. The psychotherapist brings that which is in the darkness into the light, bringing the unconscious into conscious awareness, much like Hecate did for Demeter when she took flaming torches in each hand and guided her in the search for Persephone in the underworld. Crone-Age Artemis, goddess of the hunt and moon. A Crone-Age Artemis retains an affinity for the young and an ability to think young, which keeps her from feeling old long after others might consider her elderly. She is passionate about her interests and likes to travel to new places. If she's married, it is a companionable, egalitarian, and comfortable marriage in which both parties are for free to pursue their own interests. By the time they are crones, Artemis lesbian women are often part of an extended family, which can include former partners who are now good friends. The elder Artemis mother now fosters independence in her adult children. She makes every effort to stay independent herself and not become a burden to her family. Cultural pressures may be brought to bear to inhibit Artemis traits. Crone-Age Athena, goddess of wisdom and crafts. The Athena entering into old age is likely physically and financially in good shape. She either planned her retirement, continued working, or is in a business of her own. Many Athenas are active and effective volunteers or board members. It is not in her Athena nature to be empathetic, see herself at fault, or understand why her comments could be upsetting to others when it is just good common sense. She has an easy but not an intimate relationship with her grown children. Learning compassion is her biggest challenge, and her children either resent her or have accepted her as she is. Crone-Age Hestia, goddess of hearth and temple. The Crone-Age Hestia, with adequate resources to keep her comfortable, comes into her own in this third phase of her life. Her archetypal ease at being inwardly centered makes bearing the pressure from a patriarchal culture for elderly women to become invisible easy. This suits her just fine. She is not persona-driven and does not mind a new wrinkle, nor does she experience any angst if she does not have a man in her life or if she never bore children. Crone-Age Hera, goddess of marriage. The Crone-Age Hera may consider her late years the best years of her life, especially if her and her partner are in good health and can enjoy recreation and travel with her partner or with other couples. A widowed Hera stands at an important crossroad. She can be devastated if there is no place for a single woman in her former social circle. Much depends on her spiritual depth and whether she has developed other archetypes and has friends and interests beyond the realm of her identity as part of a couple. A widowed Hera with a soul connection to her husband remains married to him, feeling his presence, sometimes talking to him, with a certainty that they will be reunited on the other side. Crone-Age Demeter, goddess of grain. Demeter's primary role was that of mother to Persephone. Transitions from maiden to mother and mother to crone are most deeply felt by a woman whose primary archetype is Demeter. The end of childbearing years is felt as a tremendous loss and can be devastating if she was unable to have children. In past times and currently in some cultures, if a woman's value to society and herself depended upon being a mother, archetype and culture acted in concert, and the woman felt her life was over when there were no children at home. A Demeter who stayed in a job, geographic area, or stayed in a marriage for the sake of her children will leave once they leave home. Crone Age Persephone, the maiden goddess and queen of the underworld. A woman with a fully developed Persephone is able to play and enjoy picking flowers in a meadow. As a mature woman, she has learned from her descents to the underworld and meanders through the landscape, choosing what pleases her, be it visiting museums, gathering seashells, or shopping for nothing in particular. She can be totally engaged in these pastimes, all the while maintaining her maturity. Needless to say, her grandchildren delight in her company. The young Persephone, who remains identified with the maiden, can age into the elder woman who considers herself a victim, envying others, blaming her parents, or anyone else for what they lack. Crone-aged Aphrodite, goddess of love and beauty. The Aphrodite who ages well does so because she has developed wisdom. She retains her fascination with beauty, savors experience, and enjoys life. Her ability to fall in love with people, objects, and places remains, but is tempered by wisdom. In this third period of her life, she remains a sexual and sensual being. I hope this will be helpful to you in formulating your responses. Thank you.